Hi there. For my talk, I will be discussing morality and anonymity in cyberspace. More specifically, I would like to ponder the question of whether or not our morality changes when we become anonymous. If our morality does change, I would also like to consider why that is. To begin, we have to think about whether or not our morality is fixed. By fixed, I mean that it remains the same regardless of changing circumstances. Thus, if given the opportunity to become anonymous, the way you make moral decisions would not change even though the circumstances surrounding your identity have. Although some would consider it ideal if our morality remained the same at all times, it is likely not the case. Why is that? In order to answer this question, I think we need to consider different scenarios. In the first scenario, a man has a terrible experience at a restaurant. The service was lackluster and the food was inedible. Out of curiosity, he visits the restaurant's Yelp page and does not see any current reviews. He decides to write a scathing review of the restaurant and lists all of the issues that he had there. Could we have expected the same review if he were not anonymous? Who does anonymity help and who does it hurt in the review process? In the second scenario, a Denison student feels uncomfortable with one of her male professors. Ever since the beginning of the semester, she has noticed that he gives preferential treatment to female students who show him affection. Because she finds this unethical, she decides to post an anonymous warning about the professor on Yik Yak, knowing that members of Denison's administration routinely monitor the website. In the process of anonymously highlighting the immorality of another person, were her morals put into question? What are the advantages and disadvantages of making serious accusations anonymously? Now, you have been given two completely different scenarios. In the first scenario, we are forced to wonder whether or not anonymity influenced this man's review. Additionally, we have to wonder who benefits from this brutally honest review. Does the restaurant benefit from learning that their service is terrible, or do potential customers benefit from learning that it would be a waste of their money to eat there? In the second scenario, we question whether or not the student's morals were put into question as she anonymously slandered her professor's character. If she were to come forward using her identity, could the administration have opened up an investigation? Did her anonymity further prolong the situation? Or did her anonymity protect her if the accusations were wrong? While it is truly impossible to know if everyone's morality stays intact while using an anonymous identity, thinking about it begs the question of whether or not your own morality would remain the same. Are there situations where you would consider being more forthcoming if you knew that you would never be held accountable for your actions? Have you ever felt guilty after posting something on the internet anonymously? While I agree that our morals should remain the same regardless of whether or not our names are attached to them, no one is perfect, and in some instances there is an undeniable appeal in saying whatever you want and it never being traced back to you. Everyone has days when their heads are swarming with thoughts that need to be released and forgotten about. For many, the opportunity to be anonymous is their chance to let their guards down and stop keeping up appearances. Of course, whether or not you decide to act on that desire is something only you will know. So who's keeping who in check?